honestly, those wins we were talking about, it makes him a lot better. But the heavyweight champion of the world is different. What would that mean to you as a trainer?
You know what? In boxing, I've always thought it was going to be hard for me. It's hard for me because of the size and just the way, it's just different training because they're just too big, too heavy to do what a 108 pounder does, and that's what we do in the gym. Most of our guys are lighter weight, where they work a lot and work hard, but it's a little bit of a difference. But just the fact that a heavyweight champion is, I'm training a heavyweight champion that's going to fight for the world title. That's huge. I love all my winning the 108s, 105s, 115 titles, but man, the heavyweight champion is what everybody uh hears about. And when
What's good, family? Shout out once again to your man the YB, number one sugar mama in the game right now, Lizzie Corinne, for boosting up his coin, 100% confirmed. So we got some breaking news right now. And we just heard there from your mans, Robert, 108 pounder, Garcia. Now listen, I'm not even sure where to start on this one. This was a whopper of a confession. Yeah? I mean, honestly, the whole situation, this whole trainer situation's mad. And this shows you how, in my opinion, integrity in general in the world right now is at an all-time low. People got no shame. I'd like to think, if you ain't qualified to do something, no you ain't, innit? You know what, AJ? As much as I'd like to collect a whole bunch of coin for not, you know what I'm saying? I haven't got a clue about training heavyweights. Yeah? And not only that, truth is, I can't even motivate my own brother to get stuck in. Because he got his head boxed off against a random dude that no one heard of in his last fight. And hasn't even come back since. Hasn't even demanded a rematch. So what would Robert Garcia know about getting to it in a rematch? Or, you know what I'm saying? What would Robert Garcia know about getting to it? He don't. That's what we know. And of all the trainers out there right now, who are up and who are performing, of course, there's no perfect, no one knows exactly what's going to happen in the future, but for me, I've already told you a few names already. I actually think, bottom line, when it's all said and done, Sugar Hill, guess what? He trained heavyweight. He trained Ben Whittaker. I know he's not heavyweight, but either way, he trained heavyweight Tyson Fury. He turned Tyson Fury from pity patty to one bang. Yeah, that's one, in my mind, that's 1 for 1. And we know, guess what? Sugar Hill is taking on new athletes right now. Yeah? Humble yourself, Mr. Johnston. Understand you ain't got a clue what you're doing. And that's the problem, you see. AJ, the fact his flow and Robert, I mean, that's why it's all messy. This whole thing is messy, yeah? I wouldn't even mind so much if AJ had humbled himself and gone out to Robert Garcia's gym. At least then, by osmosis, maybe he's gonna, or by diffusion, he's gonna get some of the vibe there. Some of the gritty, allegedly Mexican, the gritty, allegedly Mexican style vibe there from the gym. Instead, like I said, Robert Garcia's shown he's got no integrity. He's leaving his environment. And I've seen Robert Garcia in the past say, oh no, fighters have to come to me. Yeah? I'm sure, historically speaking, Robert Garcia says, any fighter who wants to work with me, in fact, I'm pretty sure for the Maidana rematch, Maidana wanted to train in Argentina or something like that, his homeland, and Robert Garcia put his foot down and said, listen, if you're not prepared to commit to come to this training camp, then it tells me you ain't really that serious. A, about working with me, or B, about working at all. If you can't leave your homeland and commit to a camp, then what really are we doing here? Yeah, if you need home comforts, then what is this? It's not a party camp, Mr. Johnston. So Robert Garcia's gone from that to now seeing the big Anthony Johnston weightlifter, pay-per-view weightlifter bag, and he said, oh wow, scrap that, scrap morals, scrap my integrity, scrap my standards, I'm flying straight over there and just going to pop in and collect a nice fat check, working as a second as well. Imagine that. Robert Garcia's used to heading a training camp in the US. He's gone from heading a 108 pounder training camp in the US to being a sideman in the UK for some washed up heavyweight Mr. Johnston, who still creates a big bag for whatever reason. So do you see all the mess around here? It just seems messy to me. The man himself even admits he has no clue about training heavyweights. You just heard him there. I got no clue, and it shows you not only how the lack of integrity, in my opinion, but also people are so selfish. All you hear him talk, oh, I'd love to get a heavyweight on my record. What? But really, I'm not going to blame Garcia. Garcia is doing what most people should do. Really, the buck stops here with Team Johnston. Someone in Team Johnston, these should have been within the filtering parameters. Within the filtering parameters should have been, let's not get someone who's never trained a heavyweight. Yeah, let's not get someone who doesn't seem to be in fire form at the moment. I mean, what are we doing here? Like I said, Sugar Hill, boom, big heavyweight dudes. In fact, Sugar Hill's shown 8 or 9 out of 10 of the things you need. Yeah? He took Tyson Fury from being pity-patty to on this thing. Because whatever way you look at it, even if some people have critiqued, or even myself, I've critiqued the Dillian White performance. I thought Fury was almost too relaxed. When you compare it to the second Wilder fight, Fury came out, he was light on his feet, but he was pumping the jab, he was putting shots down, putting combinations down from the rip. This Dillian White fight, it was all too... Yeah, well, I didn't like the performance in the main. Even though the KO was blockbuster, still really the performance was pretty poor, in my opinion. It wasn't enough activity, it wasn't enough volume. Fury should have come out galloping like he did against Wilder, and just start letting his hands go. That's what I think should happen. And that really, Fury versus Wilder 2 was his best fight, but either way, that shows you, don't forget people, Fury went from having to peel himself off the canvas against Wilder twice, and then he went life and death with Wallin and God knows what else. He went from that to to having his best fight of his career, which was Fury versus Wilder 2. And Fury, that's not my opinion, Fury says most of it was to do with Sugar Hill. What's Team Johnson doing? But again, it shows you his ego. Oh, my ego says I'm going to do it my way, and my ego says I'm so smart, I'll find a... And that's the thing with I've told you before, dumb people think they're smart. Do you understand? Dumb people don't appreciate they don't know what they don't know. Johnson thinks he's super smart. So he would have thought, oh no, I'm going to find someone better than Sugar Hill. Yeah, I'm going to use my really smart brain and find a niche, hidden, a dirty diamond kind of thing. I'm going to find the diamond in the rough. Oh yeah, Robert Garcia, great pick. I mean, who's saying that? And it tells you how much the people around AJ know boxing. Because it turns out, in this full interview, Robert Garcia says, and it's the crazy thing is, yeah, a few days ago I told you that the only reason Robert Garcia's there, yeah, is because this was done on Angel Fernandez's word. Because Angel Fernandez does not want someone in the camp here who's gonna not undermine him, but who's going to make him look bad. He wants someone in the camp who doesn't have a clue what they're doing, which makes him look good, doesn't it? He doesn't want Sugar Hill coming in, does he? I mean, it's just human nature. Who wants the best trainer in the world right now to come into their camp and make them look silly and upstage them? No one wants that. So, to my surprise, Robert Garcia in this interview says, oh yeah, well, Angel Fernandez told me back in December that I'd got the job. But AJ wanted to look at some more trainers. I couldn't believe it. So Angel Fernandez is telling him, yeah, you got the job. And meanwhile, AJ may have said, oh, I want to test some other guys out, which we do know he did. I remember, it was only 2 months ago, AJ was allegedly signed up with this probably the second or third best option. Much better than Garcia anyway, which is James Ali Bashir, who was trained Usyk, who was trained Klitschko, etc., etc. Do you think it's a coincidence that all the ones who are solid, James Ali Bashir, whoever else you want, all the ones that are solid, AJ didn't pick, but he picks the man who's out of form, training midgets, and God knows what else, Robert Garcia. This is of all the picks you could pick, for me, this is as bad as it gets, in my opinion. The only way, God knows, yeah, this is all to do with Angel Fernandez. Yeah, he don't want someone in there who's going to take his meal ticket away, does he? He wants someone who he knows, oh great, yeah, Robert Garcia's got a fixed camp in the US, which means, guess what, when AJ's finished his fight, he's going to fly back to Thing and be out of my hair. Yeah? Angel Fernandez just wants someone in here to be a sideman to him. Yeah, that's all he wants. He don't want no one. Naturally, who would? Would you want someone, or only someone who really cares about AJ would say, you know what, AJ, my name's Angel Fernandez. I've seen how you've got exponentially worse under my leadership. Let me step out and do the best for you. Yeah, but people ain't gonna do that, and that's why AJ needs someone like the YB around him in a management position to cut off all the dead wood, because a whole bunch of hanging around dons at the moment, whole bunch of hanging around cats, and they're all female type individuals as well. Because clearly these things aren't being said. AJ's got a big 30-man team, management team, and they can't see the gains Fernando playing. This is basic stuff. Yeah, basic stuff. Basic human nature. Human nature. No, he ain't never gonna bring no one in better than him, is he? You man, tell me what you think. Does any AJ man fan out there, yeah, really think Angel Fernandez is gonna want someone better than him in the camp, so AJ can see the grass is greener? Don't think so. You want someone in there who's as bad as possible. That's ideal for Angel. Yeah, and don't forget, people, Angel himself is a bit of a snake, because he came in on the pretenses under McCrappen. Don't forget that as well. So that tells you all you need to know. Is it a coincidence? AJ was with McCrappen telling us, oh, he's like my dad, I'll never get rid of him. Fernando comes along, next thing we know, Rob McCrappen's out and Fernando's in. That tells you all about the man. Yeah, he is snaked on. He sits back in the cut and he plots. Yeah, so a man who's sitting back in the cut and plotting, I'll tell you what he ain't gonna do. He ain't gonna bring Sugar Hill in, is he? To come in there and fix it all up and get that scary looking ass, bum ass dude Fernandez out of here. Yeah, meanwhile, all we see is pictures of AJ getting hugs by weird ass, I don't know, maybe AJ and Fernando are in some sort of relationship where AJ is just trying to keep happy wife, happy life. That is all. I'm not going to put all the blame on Fernando, because we don't know what's going on behind closed doors. It might be the case that AJ and Fernando are in some sort of relationship, and AJ just wants, oh, don't worry, baby, we'll do whatever you do. Yeah, F my career, I just want to make you happy. That could also be the case. Yeah, like I said, we've seen other examples in the past, or even today. Rose Namajunas and her boyfriend is her trainer, so there's a lot of that stuff going around at the moment. Yeah, and there's an old saying, don't mix pleasure with business. I believe there's a % chance AJ's mixing pleasure with business. Yeah, he's got his down low partner Fernando in the team, and it's messing things up. It's already messed up. I honestly think there's a high chance AJ knows he's finished, and that's why he's doing the things he's doing right now. It's a complete mess, and honestly, Eddie Hearn and AJ's so-called management team 258 should be embarrassed. This is an embarrassing decision. The man even says, I ain't got no clue, I can't train heavyweights, I'm 5 foot tall myself, I can't train a heavyweight to save my life, I've never trained a heavyweight to save my life. And meanwhile, there were several free heavyweight trainers, Sugar Hill, James Ali Bashir, all massively more qualified than him, and can demonstrate recent form as well. Not to mention, in my opinion, over Robert Garcia. And the worst thing is, the guy who trains Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo, two individuals who have proven they can get it done, yeah, and get it done in rematches most importantly, with Jamel Charlo recently. In fact, Jamel Charlo's fixed 2 rematches. He fixed a Tony Harrison one, and he fixed this other one against Castaño. Derek James, or your man AJ, and this is the other thing I found suspect. When AJ went to the US the first time, yeah, back in whenever it was December, who was with him? Fernando. Do you know what I mean? I just find it odd. Fernando, like I said, it's either one of two things. Fernando and AJ are either on the down low together, and it's all AJ knows what's going on, or Angel is a proper one of them dons, one of them snake dons who don't ever people who want to. It seems to me Fernando wants to control the situation without. I don't think he's. Well, he's clearly not enforcing things, but there's certain. I just find it odd, yeah, how for the last 2 years AJ hasn't gone nowhere without Fernando. That tells you either it's a relationship or Fernando has got some weird control thing going on. Now, I don't think Fernando's physically or forcing AJ, but it's one of them sly ones where you appear really nice, Yeah, you appear really nice, and AJ being low IQ thinks, oh great, I found a really good friend here. Not really seeing the full game. You're getting game ran on you. Bottom line, I think Fernando either running game or him and AJ are in some kind of weird thing together. Yeah, in some kind of 2022 rainbow flag thing. It's one or the other, in my opinion. Because also notice, where did Skins go? Oops, yeah, where's Skins? Skins got, what that tells you is AJ potentially has an affinity for light-skinned dons. Yeah, all of a sudden, Skins, who was all in the video, he gone now. And now it's some next don called Fernando. So I just find that sus. Super sus. Yeah? But like I said, AJ ain't gone nowhere without Fernando. What is that about? What is he all in the video for? I don't get, why is he all in the video? Especially when you're out, AJ was in the US, yeah, out scouting for a new trainer. Who brings their old dusty trainer out to find a new trainer? That's a no-no. Again, people who have some sort of intelligence and understand human nature and understand human psychology would say, wait there a minute, it's probably best not to bring the guy whose interests I'm potentially going to be going against. I.e., why bring Fernando out there when you know any decision you may choose to make? So, for example, if you did choose to go with Derek James, which is Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo's trainer, do you think Fernando is going to tell you that's a good idea? Do you? But like I said, when you got low IQ, you can't think in these different ways. You just, yeah, Fernando, jump on the plane. I guarantee you, all the different gyms, and the worst thing is, yeah, AJ went to Texas to see Jamal Charlo's trainer. I don't rate Jamal Charlo, because he don't fight. Yeah, but Jamal Charlo's a bum, and his trainer's a bum. But either way, AJ flew out to Texas, yeah, to see Jamal Charlo's trainer. Now, and that was in Texas. Anyway, 2-2s. AJ didn't even bother going to see Errol Spence and Jamel Charlo's trainer. He only went to see Jamal's, which is the other twin, the bum twin. Yeah? Now, after that, a month after, Derek James, Errol Spence's trainer, came out and said, what? Why did AJ come to Texas and not even swing by my gym? So, it begs the question, that's a fair question. Derek James was not hurt, but he thought, what? Since you're out here looking, what? You're not going to come past Errol Spence and Jamal Charlo's gym? Who have shown, out of really the most consistent performances and the best attitudes in the game. Errol Spence just had his best fight. Jamal Charlo just had his best fight. And they're bigger than the midgets that Robert Garcia trains. But yet, AJ didn't go there, did he? I wonder why. Because if I was in a management role for AJ, yeah, and I really cared about him, for example, I'd be saying, listen, AJ, that's one gym you want to go to. Yeah, don't go to the other bum gym. On a serious note, if I was going to Texas for one gym, it wouldn't be Jamal Charlo. It'd be Derek James's one. Honestly, if I had one choice, that'd be the choice I'd take. Instead, he went with the other one. Why do you think that is? And Fernando, he was all in there, wasn't he? Yeah. So again, these kind of manipulators, yeah. Everyone who talks about Fernando, they say, oh, he's a great guy. That's how they appear. Yeah. Meanwhile, he stayed plotting. So how it would have gone was, AJ would have said, oh, we're in Texas, where should we go? And then that's where Fernando comes in, oh, no, you don't want to go to that gym. Errol Spencer's drunk, and that's what the vibe would have been. Yeah? They don't tell you, they're not obvious about it. They do it by manipulation, i.e., they make you think you're making the choice yourself. He won't say, no, don't go to Derek James's gym, because that's going to put me out of a job. He'll sit there and set the scene. Oh yeah, we can go there, but I've heard that Errol Spencer's a drunk. I've heard that they're man that aren't really serious. It'd be one of them ones, and that makes AJ being low IQ would hear that and think, oh yeah, great idea, let's not go there then, thinking he made that choice. Instead, it's Fernando plotting. Yeah? And that's why you need someone in the camp here who can see all the little snidey snaky dons, yeah? Because the snake dons, they're smarter than AJ, but they ain't the YB level, that's what they're not. Yeah, snake dons are like 105 IQ. AJ's about 60 IQ, so he gets, listen, any 9 people out of 10 can run game on AJ. He dopey as you like, got no IQ whatsoever, and that's why Fernando running pure game on him right now. But the YB too, I clocked Fernando from way back when. Yeah, one of them snaky dons who sit back in the cut plotting. He a plotter for sure. And this move here, And like I said, go and watch the full interview. It's unbelievable. The man says, "Oh, back in December I was told I got the job." What? How's Fernando telling you got the job 6 months before AJ made a decision? How's that making sense? And that shows you how confident Fernando is of having AJ wrapped around his finger. Now, you know what that means. Either it's AJ and him are in some sort of relationship, and Fernando's like, listen, if you want the booty tonight, yeah, you're going to have to, you know what I'm saying? If you want to clap these cheeks tonight, AJ, you know what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to bring Robert in. Yeah? Because I don't want to be made to be look silly with a real trainer. Or it's just one of them manipulation ones where, I mean, Fernando's got AJ thinking he is the be all and end all. And there's only two things that do that. It's normally coochie or booty in that case. That's it. Let's be real now. What gets men making irrational decisions? It's booty, man. From AJ's case, he loved the booty. Yeah, that's what got him making all kind of wild. You know what I mean? He love struck right now with that Spanish booty, that Spanish male booty he got. That's what it is. I'm hearing, and I have heard that Latino booty. Yeah, it's a different type of one, and Fernando Latino. Yeah, so maybe AJ got a taste of them Latino cheeks, and he all the way gassed up right now. Yeah, he can't see the wood from the trees. It's one or the other. I don't know which one it is. Yeah. Because it don't make no. Who gave Fernando the reign to this whole thing? I'd love to know. I don't know when that was. And it tells you a lot as well. Don't forget, people, AJ. Oh, I'm going to be with Rob forever. Rob's like my dad. What happened to that? Yeah? I'll tell you what happened to that. That Latina booty happened to that. Do you understand? Yeah? Apparently, I'm telling you now, apparently that Latina loving is a different type of loving. And that's what Fernando been giving AJ, 100%. He love struck right now. Because if it wasn't that, why did you dump McCrappen for? And I wouldn't even mind, but you man know I've been hard on McCrappen, but you've dumped one bum for another. It's like, you might as well he might as well have stayed with Rob. Because at least Rob was straight up. At least you knew what you got with Rob. This other guy, Fernando, I don't like, for me personally, I can read him like a book. Yeah? He's a great guy, yeah, I bet he's a great guy. Yeah, 100% he a great guy. He a great guy, but he's got the worst trainer in for your man. With no qualifications. And the worst thing is, AJ had James Ali Bashir in the camp. So, I don't know what this is. And why, ultimately, why is, back to Robert Garcia now. Why didn't Robert Garcia say, AJ, if you really want to work with me, you'll do it in the US? And this tells me that Robert Garcia has been brought in as a fangirl. And I warned everyone about this. I said that most trainers who train AJ are prepared to be a fangirl. Robert Garcia should have said, listen AJ, I'd like to work with you, but you'll have to do it in my gym. And I'll have to be head trainer. That's the bottom line. And that's what I did respect Shane McGuigan. Because AJ inquired with Shane McGuigan. But Shane said, listen, it'll be in my gym. And it'll be on my terms, because I'm the general. I'm the one leading you into war. Now, you man know that Shane needs to fix his game up with Lawrence Hug Coley. Yeah, that's what you want to do. Focus on that before you do anything else. But in terms of the principle, solid. Yeah, the idea of it was solid. That principle that Shane McGuigan laid down is facts. Yeah, if you want to work, you come to the thing. You ain't no prima donna. Right now, especially in AJ's state, fair enough, yeah? If AJ was unbeaten and knocking everyone out, you know what? You're the boss. But you ain't the boss. You're washed up. And washed up people don't call shots. But this shows you what the bag does. The bag gets rid of everyone's morals and standards. Yeah? Do you think Robert Garcia would be dropping all of his tools, leaving his camp, leaving his base in America, and flying to the UK for nothing, or for some low paid fight? And no, he wouldn't. So why act differently for the money? And that tells you his intentions. His intentions aren't to create the best AJ, because no matter what way you look at it, even if Robert Garcia was qualified to do this job, yeah, he would still, if he was interested in giving the best performance, he would say, listen AJ, I can't give you the best performance flying here, there, everywhere. Yeah, you will get the best version of me. We will make the best team in the US, in this base, etc., etc. You need to make sacrifices to fly out here and commit to this training camp. That's what he would have said if he was really serious. Instead, he said, oh yeah, no problem, AJ. I'll leave my home base. I'll leave my camp. No problem, AJ. Yeah, I'll work under Fernando. I'll be the second. What the fuck? Who doing that? It's weird, man. It's weird today. He's got a bunch of... I thought it was the kids, but Robert Garcia, 50-year-old man. And the worst thing is, he's not broke either. Obviously, sometimes when you're broke here, you got to do mad things. But you're already a millionaire, and these millionaire cats don't have no... And it makes sense now why people like AJ and all the celebrities. It makes sense how. I can never understand it. How are these celebrities being flown out to Saudi Arabia to get dumped on? Yeah? Why are they like... These guys are already rich. I couldn't understand it. Why would someone already rich, just for more money, be prepared to have some next stinking Saudi don put a good old hot dump in their mouth? I couldn't understand it. But it shows you, it's their that their head's cooked. They're fiends for money. They fiend for it. AJ fiends for coin. Fiends for it. Because whatever you say about me, you ain't never gonna see the YB eating no dump. I don't care how broke I am. There ain't no Saudi man dumping in my mouth. That's what ain't gonna happen. AJ can't say that. Yeah? That's what he can't say. He out to Saudi. Straight for the coin. It's like, how much money do you need? And it's the same principle for Robert Garcia. How much money do you need? At what point do you say, you know what, AJ? Yes, I'd like an extra 5 million. Who wouldn't? But really, I'm more interested in maintaining my reputation. And I can't deliver you the best product doing all this extra shit. Like training under Fernando and flying here everywhere. You're going to have to come to me and get rid of the dead wood. And that's what I do respect Shane, because that's what Shane said. Shane said, listen, AJ, if you work with me, you'll be here, you'll commit, and I won't be working with no other trainers. Because there can't be two cooks in... You don't hear of two chefs, do you? And that's what I don't get. In no other industry do you hear of two leaders. It's weird. I never heard of it. You don't hear of two men leading an army, do you? You don't hear of two presidents. You don't hear of two CEOs. I guess you can have a dual CEO, but for the most part, you don't hear of two CEOs. It's very important. There can only be one vision. Yeah? You can't have two leaders. But it shows you how society's changed these days, because these days, everything's loosey-goosey. Oh no, that's how it used to be done. It's 2022 now, we do it different this year. This year, everyone gets a say. Everyone's voice is as valuable as each other's. Oh no, well, 10 brains is better than 1. We need diversity. Yeah, if we have 20 brains from different places, it's better than 1. How'd that working out for you, Johnston? Because you got about 20 man in each camp, and you still got your wig pushed back. Oops. Yeah? But anyway, this is good for us because it means the chances are AJ Wig going to get pushed right in for him. And that's what he deserves, because he's low IQ, his team are full of bums. I'd be embarrassed to be on AJ's team right now. Where's 258 management at? What's the point in being called a manager and you ain't managing? Who's sitting there and saying, and this is why I blame the industry, to be honest with you. That's why I like Dana White. Because ever since Eddie Hearn came along, really, all the power has been distributed to the fighters. And these guys aren't thinkers. I hate to break it to you, they're not. They're for the most part, they're boneheads. And there's nothing wrong with being a bonehead, but it's what it is. Yeah? There's no one now. You've got the boneheads making all the decisions. There used to be people at the top who were making the strategic. Yeah, you do the boxing, I'll do the thinking. Now it's like, no, I want to do the thinking and the boxing. And it don't work. That's what the evidence shows. It don't work. Yeah, people can't be good at everything. You can't be great at punching and be great at thinking laterally, I don't think. Well, different people have different gifts. So what are the chances that a great boxer is going to be a great intellectual? I don't know. Maybe it's possible, but I'll tell you who that ain't, and that ain't Johnston. Yeah? He dopey as you like. That's what we know now, categorically. Because within the industry, apart from the AJ Man fans, YB, this is a great decision. Yeah, Robert Garcia. What's he done? Oh, YB, 2014 with the midgets. Floyd versus Maidana. What? 8 years ago. Yeah. You ranting and raving about what Robert Garcia did 8 years ago in a midget division. Wow, nice. Tell me more. And again, the worst thing is, Robert Garcia did that from his own gym in America. Not flying around and being a sideman as a second. No, he did that as the main trainer. But man fans don't want to address that. Man fans just want to shield for their fighter. No matter who AJ brought in, AJ man fans would have been like, giving AJ the Saudi Prince thing. Yeah? Or taking a nice hot Saudi Prince dump from AJ. Oh, AJ, I'm an AJ man fan. Give me your Saudi Prince dump. Yeah? Make sure you have lots of spices and korma. 100%. Yeah? Make sure you have lots of that milky one. Get all that lactose in there. 100%. Anyway, listen. Robert Garcia dropped the ball here. Confirmed he ain't got a clue what he's doing. Team AJ holding a big L for this one. And I just hope, honestly, Usyk comes out and knocks the guy out. For me, that'd be the best outcome, honestly. I hope AJ gets knocked out spark cold. That's what the fans need now. I need to see AJ comatose. That's what I want to see. Yeah, because he don't know what he's doing. All of his things don't make no sense, and he's in love. Always more. That's what I said. Listen, AJ, it's 2022. No one's got a problem with you having a relationship with Fernando. It's fine, but don't waste the fans' time trying to do both. Oh well, I'm with Fernando, but I still want to milk the fans' coin, so I'm not going to retire. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll let Fernando take all the charge, and I'll just follow his lead. What? Retire? Yeah, you and Fernando could be in the south of France now, sucking each other's toes for all we care. We don't care. But don't hang around acting like you're serious when you got your toy boy making decisions for you. Don't do it. Take the piss out of the fans. Trying to pretend you're serious. Meanwhile, you got Fernando all of a sudden, the great general. Honestly, it's one thing. I didn't realise how bad things got. It's one thing when it was Rob McCrappen. I remember AJ saying, Rob McCrappen's the gaffer. Yeah, Rob McCrappen's Alex Ferguson. He said all that. I don't remember Man United sacking Alex Ferguson. Oops. So how can you say Rob McCrappen the gaffer, he the general, and then you've sacked him for some 20-year-old toy boy? Wow, that is a proper 2022 move, innit? Only in 2022 could that kind of behaviour happen. You got the toy boy running things. It's a madness. I'm done with a lot of anyway, whatever.